What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some ska. And we're going to listen to a band I haven't yet reacted to on the channel, even though I've been listening to them for a long time, although I say that it is sort of a narrow sort of interaction with a band, meaning like there's a couple albums I know and like a lot, one of which I have, and we're talking Buck-O-Nine, and the album is Barfly. So they're a ska band. I was going to say ska punk. I think they're mostly ska, though I do think, you know, by a wider definition, you could put them in the punk genre as well. But yeah, they're a group that started in San Diego in '91. So their first, I think, proper album, Songs in the Key of Bree, that came out in '94. Now, I never had that one, but a friend of mine did. So after I discovered punk rock and started getting into punk and ska, because I discovered Operation Ivy very early on after Propagandhi and I think Subhumans, I quickly was interested in ska as well, and so as I said, a friend of mine had the Songs in the Key of Bree album, and I really enjoyed it, so I went looking for a Buck-O-Nine album, and I found Barfly, which came out a year later in 1995, and I was very fond of this album. I think it has a great sound. Again, it sort of, you know, mixes a sort of like punk kind of attitude with excellent sort of ska rhythms and sounds. It's a very sort of like upbeat and kind of enjoyable ska style that they have. So I enjoy it for like sonic reasons as much as lyrically, and indeed it's funny because the song we're going to listen to, I remember it being, if not my favorite on the album, one of my very favorites, Water in My Head. And again, this is an album called Barfly, 1995, amused by the back cover image. But yeah, I don't remember the lyrics all that well. I remember in the chorus you do get the line, water in my head, it is sort of repeated. But I don't really remember much about the actual lyrical content. I haven't actually listened to this album in a while. It was in a box that I had like stored away. I mentioned before I lost a lot of CDs in one of my moves, and then there was another box that I didn't lose, but I sort of like put it in the back of the closet, and then, you know, like multiple years passed before I even remembered that it was there. And then I dug it out, and there was, you know, like Beastie Boys and a number of like punk rock and ska and so on. So I've been going through those albums, and like I said, I was very fond of this album back in the day. But it's funny because their album that got the most mainstream success, 28 Teeth, I do also have that one. I got it, and I remember not quite being as fond. It wasn't that it was bad. I do enjoy the tunes, and the tune that I think was the biggest sort of like mainstream hit, which is My House. It's cool, it's catchy, I don't have any problem with it. But it didn't quite have the sort of like punk sort of energy feel of this one. So for whatever reason, after that album, I kind of lost focus of them. It wasn't so much that I was like, oh, I'm never going to buy an album again. It was more like, okay, this one is cool, maybe not as cool as Barfly. And again, late 90s, I was getting into techno, I was starting to play events, still going to punk shows, but also going to hip-hop shows, and I just didn't have like a whole lot of room in my musical life for every single band. So if an album like didn't quite hit me right, you know, I ended up not paying attention to the band as much after that. So that was sort of my experience at Buck-O-Nine. Liked Songs in the Key of Bree, bought Barfly, loved it, got 28 Teeth, liked it, but maybe didn't love it, and as a result, kind of stopped paying attention to them. So again, it's not really a knock on the band, it's just the way that I interacted with them as a teenager in the 90s. So as I said, I dug this out. I wanted to start reacting to it. If you're new here, if you know you came looking for a Buck-O-Nine reaction, I react to physical media on the channel. I'm in my early 40s, been collecting music a long time. And I'm also like sort of a technological dinosaur. Like when it comes to kind of music and so on, I pretty much can, you know, do what I need to do. But in terms of like computers and video editing software, I'm not the greatest, and I just, you know, I do everything on my own here. So I'm not really equipped to react to YouTube videos. So I respect that that's how the majority of reaction channels do it, but here I largely react to physical media, although people have sent me like digital tracks, so I still react to it in the same format. But yeah, people have emailed me tunes of different types, so it's not all like CDs or vinyl, but for the most part it is. In any case, if you're new here, welcome. You know, check out my punk ska playlist. I've reacted to like hundreds of punk and ska tunes, so but yeah, like I said, let's get to it. This is Buck-O-Nine, Water in My Head, from their 1995 album Barfly. I love that horn riff. And I like how it's sort of like focuses a little bit, strips down a little bit after that powerful secondary intro. Lyrics coming back. Like really high cymbals. Okay. A broken relationship of some kind. Sonically, it's well composed, it's like excellently played. You got that rhythm guitar, you got the nice little horn touches. Like that fragmented repeating vocal and the double time like outro and the vocal flare at the end. Nice one. Yeah, fantastic. I saw them one time and I was trying to, like, the last like 30 seconds of the song, I was trying to remember it. It was like a ska fest. I forget the name. It was somewhere in Orange County. I remember this. And I remember it was like Pharmaceutical Bandits played, Dial 7 played, I think maybe Real Big Fish played. But it was like, bottom line, it was a lot of California ska bands, and it was like, I don't know if it was like a weekend long thing, but I sort of remember what the venue looks like. In my like visual memory. I have good like snapshots of things from a long time ago. If you asked me what I ate for dinner yesterday, I probably can't remember, but I have like very specific visual memories of things like in my long-term memory, and I remember this venue, and it was sort of like outside and inside, and I think there was like a stage in the outer part as well as a stage than the inside part, but they were like, it was like an open walkthrough, so it was like inside outside. But yeah, like I said, I think Bucko 9 played. And I remember just enjoying like a number of the bands, like Dial 7 I had never heard before, and they had sort of a different flavor than a lot of the other bands that played that day, so I remember that kind of made me turn my head. But yeah, bottom line, I remember that Bucko 9 was like fun. Like I remember it was like a cool performance, if I'm remembering this correctly. If I could remember the name of the show, like perhaps I could confirm one way or the other whether I'm remembering this right. But yeah, bottom line, this album I'm a big fan of, so we'll listen to some more tunes on there. I'm trying to remember, I think the first track, Callin' In Sick. Yeah, Callin' In Sick is a fantastic tune. We'll have to come back for that one. And then if there's any others on here that you're a fan of, let me know. As I said, somewhere I have 28 Teeth. Like I have a collection of CDs that I've sort of like put, because now that I've started doing reactions, I've gotten a little more organized. So I have like a shelf that's like all punk rock and ska, like alphabetical, so it should be there. So yeah, if there's anything on 28 Teeth you'd like to see a reaction to, do let me know. Other than that, thank you for listening and watching. I will see you next time.